WYMT Mountain News at 6.
A community is outraged after the Leslie County Firefighters Memorial Park was vandalized last week. The park is home to a memorial statue which honors Leslie County volunteer firefighters who have died and the more than 300 firefighters who died on 9/11. WYMT's Lauren McCourt talked with several volunteer firefighters who say they are heartbroken to see the damage.
Damaging more than just a local park.
I'm heartbroken.
I'm more heartbroken than mad.
It made me heartbroken.
As graffiti covers signs, concrete, and playground equipment.
This is uncalled for.
Leslie County natives are devastated to see the place where they come to remember the fallen vandalized.
It's a special place for everybody, well, especially the firefighters, because, you know, it's dedicated to their families around here and the ones that lost their lives.
Built more than 10 years ago, the Leslie County Firefighter Memorial Park holds a special place in many hearts.
This is my papa's name here. He, Rufus. Almost all these people had a big hand in this place being built.
But after seeing the damage, the feeling is different for those who pay their respect.
It's a hard thing to see when somebody comes up here and spray paints all over a sign. It's not just a sign to me or anybody else in the county.
Though paint may be easy to wash off.
We don't ask for nothing to get out and do what we do 365 days a year. Just a little bit of respect is all we ask for.
The feeling of disrespect for those who sacrifice so much for us will linger on. In Leslie County, Lauren McCourt, WYMT Mountain News.
If you have any information on this vandalism, you can contact the Leslie County Sheriff's Department. Friends and family are remembering two people killed in an explosion in Wolfe County. 52-year-old Philip Vanderpool and 48-year-old Sue Ann Vanderpool died. The explosion happened Saturday afternoon at a home off Highway 15 near Campton. Leonard Stone, a family friend, rushed to the scene as soon as he heard the news. He's a longtime friend of one of the victims.
With Thanksgiving and the holidays coming, I'd say it's going to be very, very difficult. That's where they'll need their friends. That's where they'll need their friends.
Friends say the family has housing but needs furniture. A total of 6 people were inside that home. 4 others were hurt. One person is in serious condition. A man is behind bars in Knox County because sheriff's deputies say he stole a donation jar. The donations were meant for the Knox Whitley Animal Shelter. Investigators spent a week looking for Troy Grubb and eventually arrested him Friday. Grubb faces a theft by unlawful taking charge.
Today we saw plenty of sunshine and temperatures were above average. Not a bad way to kick off the holiday week. Temperatures reached right at 60 degrees this afternoon at the National Weather Service in Jackson. So we are well above average for the end of November, but I don't think many people can complain about 60s. Buffalo Mountain, you see that sun continuing to set, but a clear and calm night is in store for us heading throughout the evening and overnight hours as well. And those temperatures continuing to fall already into the mid 40s for some of us. Check it out, Monticello down into the upper 30s. Jackson 53 right now. Prestonsburg is at 54. So everybody's going to want a jacket heading out, and satellite and radar is showing pretty clear skies throughout the region. So we're going to continue to see calm conditions. We do have a few rain chances on the way, and I will break down what those mean for holiday travel here in just a little bit. Steve.
All right. Thank you very much, Kelly. With Thanksgiving only 3 days away, many people will begin traveling to see family and friends. AAA suggests if hitting the road to do so today or Thursday. WYMT's Katie Cook went to London and talked to some travelers today.
Before you buckle up and put your car in drive, remember, you will be on the road with about 50 million other people.
Definitely just be more aware of the drivers around you.
Some people already began their travels. What is your favorite part about Thanksgiving?
To be with family.
Aside from a bit of construction, people are saying the roads aren't too bad.
There's not much traffic today.
I think they were pretty easy going.
But AAA says it will be a different story closer to Thanksgiving.
It's going to be pretty hectic with the holiday weekend and all that.
The amount of cars expected to be on the road this Thanksgiving week is the second highest amount since 2000.
Be safe and don't be on your phones and just be careful.
So no matter where you're coming from,
we left Michigan on the 7th.
Or where you're going.
My husband and I and our daughter, we're going to be going to Cincinnati, Ohio.
Be aware of those around you, looking forward to seeing their family for the holiday.
That was Katie Cook reporting. AAA predicts around 368,000 people will run into car trouble this week. For those keeping a close eye on gas prices, we've mapped out what you can expect here in eastern Kentucky. You'll notice around I-75 and in Letcher County, gas is lower than the rest of the mountains. You'll find the lowest average in the state in Bell County, where gas there is only about $2.17 a gallon. On December 10th, Andy Beshear will be sworn in as Kentucky's new governor. Leading up to that Tuesday, Beshear is on a fast track to pick his cabinet and transition into office. Today, I met up with him to talk about a handful of his priorities before and after he takes office. WYMT's Will Puckett has a preview of tonight's Issues and Answers.
Governor-elect Andy Beshear is on a fever pitch to transition into the governor's mansion.
When you learn on a night that you're going to be the governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, it makes it all very real. That you're about to be in a position where you can do more good for our families than maybe anybody else in the entire state.
When Beshear takes office, he has a handful of tasks he wants to accomplish, chiefly fully funding education.
We're going to have a budget, like every budget, where we don't have enough money for everything we want to do. But I believe a budget is a values document. It's about what you value the most and what you're willing to sacrifice for. I value public education, and we're going to sacrifice for it.
Governor-elect Beshear knows he has his work to do in eastern Kentucky, specifically on the coal front.
These are our critical jobs to our families. That gets lost in a lot of the national discussions that almost every coal job is supporting not one, but multiple families. We got to recognize that.
Most importantly, Beshear believes in Kentucky, and while he knows he faces an uphill battle in a Republican-controlled legislature, he has faith.
We've got a lot of other priorities, and we're going to be pushing them hard this session, but we're going to be doing it in a way to where we look to collaborate, realizing that we are all on Team Kentucky.
Faith, he says, to move Kentucky forward. Will Puckett, WYMT, Mountain News.
The governor-elect also talked about the state education board and said he will ask the education commissioner to step down. We'll talk about that and more tonight at 7 on Issues and Answers here on WYMT. In Laurel County, a man is in jail on criminal abuse of a child and drug charges. Deputies arrived at a home on Tackett Spur Road for a welfare check. James Reeves let the deputies in, and inside, the deputies say they found meth, drug paraphernalia, and scales. Deputies say that the home was unfit for the 5-year-old living there. Reeves is being held in the Laurel County Correctional Center. Also in Laurel County, we now know a trial date in the case of a father charged with killing his son. Jury selection for Vaughn Brock is expected to begin March 10th. He's accused of killing his toddler son. They found the little boy inside a washing machine following a fire. Brock told investigators he fell asleep while smoking a joint and woke up to the trailer filled with smoke. A former office manager and bookkeeper for an eastern Kentucky coal company faces federal charges. A grand jury indicted Sherry Thomas last week. She's accused of using her position at Carbon River Coal Company to write checks to herself out of the company's tax payments. She faces wire fraud and identity theft charges. Thomas is set to appear in court on December 9th. A pardon by Governor Bevin is setting a man convicted in a deadly crash free. Justin Wibbles was serving a 20-year sentence. He was convicted of wanton murder in 2016. The crash happened in 2014. Investigators said Wibbles collided head-on with a van in an emergency lane on Kentucky 30, killing the driver. Hillary Thornton talked to the Laurel County Commonwealth's attorney, who says he is against the governor's decision.
Pardon applications are sent to the governor's office. The governor then considering those. Governor Matt Bevin issuing several lately. One last week releasing Justin Wibbles from prison, commuting his sentence and granting him an unconditional pardon. Governor Bevin writing in the order that the 2014 Laurel County crash was a, quote, tragic accident. It is news that isn't sitting well with the prosecutor.
Use the term tragic accident is absolutely not right. An accident or a tragic accident is somebody an attentive driver who runs a stop sign, a driver on a slippery road and loses control. That's an accident.
Wibbles was sentenced to 20 years in prison back in 2015 after a jury convicted him of wanton murder. Laurel County Commonwealth's attorney Jackie Steele says the facts of the case were that Wibbles was driving at an excess of 80 miles per hour on a busy 2-lane road, speeding past traffic in the emergency lane. Steele says eventually Wibbles hit a vehicle driven by 61-year-old Jerry Thompson.
He knew exactly exactly what the risks were when he was doing that. He knew what the dangers were and just ignored them and failed to abide by the rules of the road. That's exactly what wanton murder is, and that's what the jury convicted him of.
Steele says this pardon is a slap in the face to many, including the family, the jurors, the judge, and the Kentucky Supreme Court, who reviewed the case and upheld the conviction. Now, Governor Bevin did break what was usual practice for governors in issuing all of their pardons at the very end of their term. Instead, he has staggered those throughout his time in office. At last check, Governor Bevin issuing a total of 70 during his 4 years, nearly 30 of those happening this month. Now, that is in comparison to former Governor Steve Beshear, who issued 201 pardons on his final day in office, and before that, Governor Ernie Fletcher issued just under 100. Hillary Thornton, WYMT Mountain News.
We did reach out to the victim's family today, and they did not want to respond.
Overall, clouds are going to start to increase heading through the next few hours. It will bring some rain chances, and how will that affect the holiday forecast? Those details coming up.
But first, with Thanksgiving this week, many will be looking for real Christmas trees to spruce up your home. We'll tell you about the problem you could face.